A new podcast series by a runner for runners. Welcome to DP Running Journals.
In this episode, I am joined by a personal trainer who will be talking about his journey in fitness, his story, the challenges he has faced, and what the future holds for him and his fitness business. You're listening to DP Running Journals, Episode 2, A Personal Trainer's Path to Purpose. Today's episode, I sit down with a very good friend of mine, someone who helps me to build my fitness levels as I go through my journey, someone who has an inspirational story to tell and helps to build confidence in his clients. I am honoured and proud to welcome on today's show, Ash Oakes.
Hiya, mate.
Ash.
Hiya, mate. How you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for agreeing to come on, first of all.
You're welcome.
And it's great to be here in your gym where all the magic happens.
Yes, mate. I'll do my best to try and get results out of everybody that steps through that door. That's the main thing.
For those who don't know you, Ash, please can you say a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Ash Oakes, from Bedworth, born and bred. I'm very proud to be. I'm an ex-former gym instructor in the prison service. From there, I went on to have a career in probation, basically, and then a few things changed in my life. I went on to work for Royal Mail, and then eventually ended up as a personal trainer.
Brilliant, and we're going to talk a bit about your journey in a bit, aren't we, and how you've set up your business and how you're going with that, aren't we? Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
So have you always dreamed to have your own fitness?
No, I'll be honest. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a jockey, but until the age of 14, I realised then suddenly I shot up, and there ain't many 6-foot jockeys about, so I had to shelve that idea. I became a bookmaker for 12 years of my life, which was something I loved, really enjoyed it, but that was never going to be the be-all and end-all for me, so eventually I moved on.
So, is there any moments in your life which has inspired you? Is there any moments where you've come up from the ashes? Pardon the pun. Is there any moments like that?
Well, I've always believed that it's never too late to actually get your dream job. I've had, like I said before, I've had various jobs, but basically my health has led me to this point. Last year, I suffered a major asthma attack, which was actually life-threatening. And I was working for Royal Mail at the time. They were very good with me. They understood that I needed to have tests. I had a lot of blood tests. But the time was going on, and obviously they needed to cover my round. And they gave me a little bit of an ultimatum. And I couldn't give them the answers. Obviously, the hospital hadn't got back in touch with me, so I told them that I was going to get my results on New Year's Eve. They were fine with that, and then when I got my results, they came to the conclusion that because of my asthma, I couldn't carry on working for Royal Mail.
Gosh, and that must have hit you quite hard. Yeah,
very hard indeed. I love my job. I love working with people. I love interacting with people. It was great, like making people's day, knocking their doors, giving them their parcels, and seeing people on the streets of Bedworth that I've known all my life, having a quick chat, and then it knocked me for 6, if I'm honest.
And I know, mate, you're very inspirational to quite a lot of people, especially me, and I'll go into that in a bit when I'll say how I've met you and how we've been training for last 6 months now, isn't it?
I bet it's 6 months, yeah.
So that's gone quite quick, and I'll say a bit about that in a minute. But how has fitness inspired you? I know between clients you train yourself, and I've done a couple of times when I've trained with you, and how's it influenced you and, you know, impacted your life?
I love it. I've always loved it. I played football from the age of 10. I played up until I was 34, and then I managed sides. When I stopped playing football, I decided to take on a charity boxing a match, and then I carried on with the boxing. I've done boxing now for 12 years. I'm still involved with football. Like I said, I worked in the prison service for a year, and then I was lucky enough to get myself a job in the gym, which is one of the best jobs in the prison service. This is where I got all my qualifications. I did a course there that was a baller course that doesn't exist anymore, so I feel privileged to have that as backup to obviously for my qualifications. I did a nutrition course. I did a sports specific course, which I like to think I specialise in. The fact that people come through my door, they can be from novices to professional athletes, and I like to think I can cater for everybody.
And that's brilliant. So Ash, can you tell us a bit about your business, where it's gone from like paper to where we are now in your amazing gym?
Well, it was right about this time last year. Obviously, I was sat in the house. I couldn't work for obvious reasons after the asthma attack. I was good. It was hard. I went in the best of places, and my girlfriend Claire noticed, and she's known since day one when we moved in 3 years ago that I've always wanted to have a punch bag in the garage, and she inspired me. It was actually her idea to convert the garage into a gym, first and foremost for myself, for my own mental health, to have something to do. I was training twice a week on a Tuesday and Thursday at the adult class at Monkton Boxing Gym, but I still wanted to do more. And once I started, I thought if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. So we literally have converted it into a gym. And I'll be honest, I absolutely love it. It's wicked. Every time I walk in here, it puts a smile on my face, knowing that that myself and Claire have created this from basically nothing. And obviously I was still at Royal Mail, so I didn't know what was going to happen. But the worst case scenario, I was always going to have a gym that I could be proud of.
And you should be proud about it, mate, because it is really, really cool to be in here. And I remember when I first stepped in here about 4 or 5 months ago, and I was like, wow, this is something I want to carry on. And I'm still coming back now.
It's wicked. You are like one of my many success stories. I'm not blaming you and trumpet here, but when we put you on the scales and you had put on that weight which was you told me you had 2 goals. One was to put on weight, one was to do a high rocks. We've smashed that first one out of the water. I couldn't believe it. I looked down at the scales, and I always write down people's weight, people's times, what they do on the rower. I write down everything for each and every individual, and for yourself, I'd written down, maybe you know what we say, your weight was 63 kilos, and then to see you on the scales, it said 70. I simply had to do a double take, and I looked at your face, and you put on 7k, which is basically a stone in weight, which I was buzzing. And I could see you were buzzing too.
I was buzzing because I didn't think that would happen. And obviously, you know my story, and that I've been trying to put weight on for years. And yes, I'm either giving 110% or nothing. And I remember when we first met, and I told you exactly what I wanted to do, that I wanted to do a high rocks. And you were like, well, what's a high rocks? And I showed you, and your face was a picture, because you knew it's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
And it is going to be challenging, and I know that from this Thursday when I volunteered at High Rocks, and seeing all the people there and seeing people faint and everything like that. But it's making me more determined to do what I want to do, which is the High Rocks. And without your equipment, and I know you started with a punch bag and a rower, and you've just recently got a skiers machine, which if people don't know is the first station on a High Rocks. You've got like wall balls and everything like that, and I know you've got a plan for me.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously you've got your plan for your other clients. How many clients have you got at the moment?
At the minute, I've got all in all over 40 clients, and I'll be honest. When I started, I've been going for 6 months now. After 6 months, my target was to get 20, and to double that, I'm literally buzzing. I'm buzzing. I can't believe the response I've had. It's just been so good, just through word of mouth, through Instagram. It's a bit overwhelming, really, but I love it. I love doing what I'm doing. When anybody steps foot in my gym, I tailor every single different session to people's needs, because everyone's different. Nobody's the same. There's no look on it. I'll go on YouTube, I can do this, or go on Instagram, have a look at different things. Everybody's different.
So, what makes your business, do you think, different to others or to gyms?
I've got a lot of people that come in here. I've got ex-professional sportsman, ex-professional golfer, an ex-professional footballer, and then I've got other people that come to my gym that have never walked in a gym before, and simply the reasons for not coming into a gym is because they feel uncomfortable. This is private, it's secure. If your technique ain't right with what you're doing, I'll coach them so the technique's right, but they've got no need to be embarrassed. Go into a gym, and I won't say any names, but it can be pretentious and it can be overwhelming, even for people that train themselves. If it's not nice, and obviously everyone's different at that, you know. People have got like sometimes people portray confidence, and they're actually not. People that walk through my door, I like to think I'll make them feel comfortable, I'll make them relax. I just want them to enjoy themselves. Work hard, walk out that. When they walk out that door, they know they've done a workout. They know that it's been hard work, but they've enjoyed it, and hopefully they want to come back. And the majority of my clients have come back.
Yeah, and obviously I've seen that on Instagram, and we talk probably on a daily basis, don't we? And that's what I like, that I've obviously been to gyms before, and I've had personal trainers before, and they've just been trying to knock out numbers. So the more clients they get, obviously the more pay they get. And when I come to yours, it's completely different. From that moment I met you, I was thinking, this is a guy who I want to train with for my whole life, if I can. Because you take that time to get to know the person and that individual. And obviously, when I come to see you after when I finish my shift at work, you have clients just coming out of your garage, and the smile on their faces, that's something which you can't buy.
Exactly. It gives me job satisfaction, and money's not my motivation. I'm not motivated by money whatsoever. I'm a people person, always have been. I've been brought up that way. I just want to see people happy, and I like to see people get on in life. And if people come to me with a goal, I will strive to make sure they reach it. And if it's something simple, just even coming to a gym, it's hard. It's difficult. I've had close friends coming to me in this gym, and like lads that played football for me years ago, and they even told me they're nervous, which surprised me. But now I know people, even my closest friends, are nervous about coming to a gym to do a session, whether it's for a half hour, for 45 minutes, or an hour. They get nervous. I get nervous when I see them. You know, I want to make sure I provide a service that they're pleased with, and it seems to be working. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I can see that myself. And I know you only started about 6 months, and this question might think, oh God, but where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Where do you see your company in 5 years?
Well, me and Claire are looking to get a new home, to be honest. When that happens, we're not sure about yet, but I'd love somewhere with a bigger garage, maybe a double garage. So, because believe it or not, I actually, even though it's a standard size garage, I train 2 people together, I train 3 people together. I didn't think it'd ever work, but the more I do it, the more it's working. A family, my best friend comes with his wife and their youngest daughter. They come together. Another good friend of mine, he comes with his girlfriend and his daughter. They come and train, and it works. I can work it now, but it'd be ideal because of how well it's going. If I could just get somewhere a little bit bigger and just expand it. I mean, you can see in here I've got so much equipment, yet there's so much space. I've moved it around so it's comfortable. I'd like to think I've got everything I need in here. Well, I have. I know I have to train somebody, no matter what their needs are. It works.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. And so, Ash, how do you get your business promoted?
Well, basically, I started Instagram about 5 years ago, and then obviously I love it. I've gone on now to have my own Instagram account, but I also massive believe in word of mouth. Anybody that walks out the door, I take a photo at the end of the session if they want one. If they don't, that's fine with me. I understand it's completely, everything could be private. Some people want to surprise people when they're training. They don't want to tell their partners, and they come and they train, and then they see results of what you've been doing, and so that happens. But I also I'm involved with local football. I used to go to, but I still go to Bunkton Boxing Club when I'm not busy, but I'm very busy at the minute. So, but I sponsor one of the young lads that boxes there. He's got my logo on his shorts. I sponsor his bouts at Bunkton Boxing Club. I've got 2 banners, and they put them around the side of the ring when they have a show, which is great, and everyone sees that. Also, the football team that I have a lot to do with. I'm on the committee of Newdigate United. They literally play over the road, which is one of the reasons why I got back involved. I absolutely love it. They're a great bunch of lads. They're a very good team. Probably, I think that, in my opinion, they're the best in the district, if I'm honest. But we've got to go and prove that. We're definitely the best side in Bedworth, that's for sure. They very kindly have put my logo on the back of their training tops, which I absolutely love. We do race nights for her as well, where we've raised an absolute fortune. And I love doing stuff like that. We did one last night for a young side over in Eton, an amble side. And I said they wanted businesses to sponsor their race, so I do that quite often, I'll chuck size 20 quid, whatever. It's great. I love it. I don't mind anything local around here. I'll support them all day long.
And that's a good thing about you, Ash. You don't think about yourself. You think about other people first. And I've seen that. And when I bring my girlfriend here, and she was very nervous when she first came in, and she loved it, and she wants to come again. And obviously she's busy like me and you are, and but she will be coming to train with you again. And she loved how she saw how great it was for me to train with you, and then that gave her the confidence to do it. And that's the thing, Ash. You put everyone before yourself, and I think you need to sit back and see what you've actually done, because you have not just built a fitness company here, you've built a movement. And you might say, I don't think I have, Dave, but you have, because the amount of people you've got on Instagram, and obviously the gym clothing company who I'm going to speak to in the next episode, they've seen how much I've changed, how much I've trained with you, and they're now following my fitness journey. And that's all because of the progress you've helped me with over the last 4 to 6 months. And it carries on to my girlfriend. She's not confident in fitness. She's not confident in doing gym stuff. And that day when she came and saw me train with you, and yes, I did push myself a little bit, but having you and her there gave me the confidence to do that. And it just shows that you're inspiring not only the people you work with, but their family and their friends as well. And I just want to say personally, thank you for, creating your business. Thank you for creating this movement. And I bet a lot of other people would say thank you to you as well. So thank you, mate.
I appreciate it. Very cold words, mate. It means a lot. Honestly does. But it's just me being myself. I grew up in pubs, obviously not drinking, but my mum ran a pub, and I seen how my mum was with people, and it set me up in life. I'm just me, that's how I am. I ain't never going to change. When I worked in the prison service, an actual prisoner come up to me and says, "Don't ever change, Ash. This job could change people. It was never going to change me." It's probably why I went there that long, but that opened up doors for me. For 8 years in probation, working with a lot of people that you say when people come through my door, I try and make them feel at home. When I worked in the prison service, there was prisoners that do stuff that wouldn't even look at you. Obviously, going back to them days, there's no such thing as ADHD or autism. So you had to learn to deal with different people, different situations. In the prison service, they're not just murderers, they're not just robbers. Even the worst case scenarios, the rapists, the paedophiles. Everyone's different in there, and I had to learn to be in some difficult situations, but to be able to handle that, it set me up for life, and when people come to me and they've got a goal and I adapt myself to how they are. I've got people that I know that they won't be said it, that come through the door with ADHD and autism. They come back because they feel comfortable in the gym. And like I said to you before, money is not my motivation. Putting a smile on people's faces, making sure that, and it's not just their physical health. Just as important, if not more important, is their mental health. And I get inspiration from my own clients. It's crazy. Sometimes I'm sat at home and I think, oh God, I can't be bothered to train today. And then somebody will come in and train in my gym. I will guide them through their session. I will write their session down. I'll write everybody's individually. I'll write it down. And then they'll leave and I'm inspired and I'll train myself then. And I'll smash it for 40 minutes to an hour and then I'll feel great. So it works both ways. Don't think for 1 minute that everybody walks through the door, I'll just think, oh right, they've come in, I've made them feel better, happy days, see you later. No, it works both ways. My clients make me feel good and I love it.
And that's the thing, mate. It's one of them, and not only you might say that the clients make you feel good and you love it, but the clients feel good about themselves, or I do especially. And every time I've trained with you, even if I'm aching afterwards, I'm buzzing because I've trained with you. And that's the thing. And obviously, since training with you, I've not really had any injuries. Yes, I've had aches, but I've had no injuries. And that's something, if I went and gone to a gym myself and pushed myself to the absolute limit, like I did, 3 years ago, I could have been in the same situation, but you're not letting me completely drill myself into the ground.
I'll push you as much as I'll push you as much as you need. That's what I'll do. I know your limits, I'd like to think I could assess my clients very quickly. The first session is an assessment, and I vary that for different people, and then I get to know them straight away. I know how far I can push them, and I know how I can push them that little bit more, and that little bit more, and I know when they've had enough. And there's that line, because I can't push people and they walk out of it and they're crumbling. There's no point. There's been a lot of people been sick outside and I've had to clean it up, but that's fine. They push themselves, and that's wicked. Let them do that. That's good. But they've all come back. And they've all doing now more than what they did that day, and they've all got results. Every single one of them, whether it's on the rower, the ski erg. Some people couldn't even do 3 2-minute rounds on the bags. Now they're doing 5 2-minute rounds on the bags easily, and they're getting on the ski erg, and they're getting on the rower, then doing the slam balls, then doing the battle ropes. Everyone gets results that comes through the door.
And I know you mentioned a bit about your equipment then, and I just want to ask, there's so much equipment in here. Like, how did you get all this equipment?
Well, everything you see in here is brand new. I'll be honest, I bought a lot of things in the Black Friday sale last November. Apart from the the punch bag, which was kindly donated by a good friend of mine, and I've got 2 places, like you can see the steels in the ceiling. I've got 2 places where I can hang punch bags. I've got 3 punch bags in all in there, but the one I've got is wicked. I love it, and everyone loves it. So, but everything else you see, the slam balls, the wall balls, the skier, the concept 2 rower, what else? All the dumbbells, the Olympic bar with all the weights on, the boxing gloves, the pads, everything, the skipping ropes, you name it, the body bag, it's all brand new. The bench as well, because I wanted to do it properly. I wanted to, because if it weren't going to be my business, it was going to be mine and Claire's. So, but now it is my business, and it's wicked, and I add to it all the time. The wrist roller, I love that, and introducing just a little. I can change it up. I change it up all the time, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
And you mentioned about the wrist roller then, and that is one of my friends, I would say, isn't it? It's one of those ones. No one knows what a wrist roller is, obviously it's in the name. And when I first used it, I was like, oh God, but I love it now, don't I, Ash? I like the battle ropes.
Don't blame me, mate. It's Bruce Lee's idea. That was. I just took his idea and took it to give it to you. You get it with it. It does it, yeah. It kills.
Yeah, it does. And it's like the battle ropes. When you first saw me use those battle ropes, and I wasn't doing it right. My shoulders weren't going the way they should have been. And now look at me now. I absolutely love them. And the weights. Look. Remember the last session, and you got me to do shrugs with the weights, and obviously we went from 7.5 kilos, 6 kilos.
Push out as much as you can, or drop stage, you know, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously I decided to then go up to the 12s, didn't I, and try them.
You
with
push
them.
yourself, and I love it because you do push yourself, but we bounce off each other,
Yeah.
and that's what I do with all my clients. I bounce off them, and I can see, when somebody's had enough. You know when somebody's had enough, and if we sit down, we'll have 4 minutes, and then we'll go again. It's job done, isn't it?
Yeah, and the final kind of section I want to talk about, Ash, is there any tip for listeners, people who may be new to fitness, or have come back from injury and they haven't got the confidence to go back? Is there any tips you would give to them?
I just personally think the hardest part of any fitness journey is stepping through that door. It really is. Once you've done that, if you're with the right people, then you'll feel comfortable enough to make that step into the gym. And it is difficult, and it is hard for a lot of people. I'm not a member of a gym. I could book into a boxing club when I've got spare time, but I'm not a member of a gym. I've got everything in here, but not everybody wants that gym environment. But getting through that door, whether it is in a gym or it is even going for a walk, just go for a walk. You just start your journey, build yourself up. It is so difficult, and it is hard. It's not for everybody. People have been honest with me. Ash, I've really tried to do it. You're brilliant at what you do. It's just not for me, and I accept that. I've done everything I can, So it's a shame when that happens. But there's a road out there. Go for a walk. Turn it into a jog. Turn it into a run. It's fine. Do something. Do something for your physical health and your mental health.
And I love those tips you've just gave, Ash. I think a lot of people are going to be inspired by what you've just said, and obviously I'm always inspired. And I first met you in May, and I can remember it was the end of May. I just did the Great Birmingham Run, and you asked me on Instagram what was my goal, and I said, well, 1 is to put weight on, and 2, it's to do something called High Rocks. And this is something that obviously I just learnt about this year, and I got into it a lot more this year. And obviously you didn't know about High Rocks until I mentioned it, and since I've mentioned it, you've seen loads on Instagram, and I know a lot of stuff is coming up on your Instagram.
Everything on my Instagram seems to be High Rocks. Is it algorithms? Is that what yeah? It's all High Rocks. I'm like, oh my God. I'm certainly not going to do one, because to me, that is some test of fitness. Anybody that does or even wants to do that, the technique, what they have to do, because it's ain't about doing 100. Is it 100 wall balls you have to do?
That's the last section.
It's not even about doing 100. You've got to do them strict. You can't just dip and chuck it. You have to, and your burpees have to be correct. And to do a high rocks takes a lot. To train for a high rocks takes a lot. But like I said, I love training people for whatever they want to do. If it's, like I said, a sport specific training is what I like to think I specialise in. And because I looked into this high, I just think it was a half marathon, full marathon, and an ultra, job done. That's it. Then this high rocks pops up. Wow, it's another level of fitness. And to be fair to you, my friend, if you're going to do it, we've got a lot of work ahead, but we'll do it.
Yeah, we have got a lot of work ahead, and obviously Thursday just gone, I did see what High Rocks was, and I was one of the judges for wall balls, and I'm not going to lie, I was quite harsh, and that was because the head judge said, Dave, you've got to be harsh, you can't be doing, half squats, you've literally got to get to the floor, and I must have gave at least 150 no reps. Over the course of the morning, because they just weren't getting low enough. And obviously I tried it myself, and it seemed easy, but I think after doing 7 other stations and then 8 kilometre run, 1 kilometre per station, it was, I can see why people got tired. And obviously people listening to this might think I'm crazy, but I am a runner. I have got runner's legs. I know how to run. I can run 8 kilometres. I can do that. You see me skiing. You see me row. Those are not going to be my problems. The problem is going to be the weight. And obviously I didn't realise the weights until we looked at it the other day, didn't we? And it was like, 2 20 kilo kettlebells for farmers carry, a 20 kilo sandbag for sandbag lunges. We're looking at the burpees. What did you say they need to be about?
It's about 8 yards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a foot where your hands from your feet.
And it's usually about 80 of them you have to do, and it's going to be a journey, but everyone will know that I'm not hoping to do High Rocks soon. We are going to be looking at a couple of years, and obviously High Rocks have just announced they're doing a trial at the moment. They're going to do a High Rocks cruise. So that might be something to aim for. And I can see Ollie here shaking his head and laughing at me. And people who don't know, Ollie's the one who does edit my podcast, and he's probably thinking, Dave, you're crazy. And I know Ash is thinking I'm crazy, but this is what I am. And I didn't come to you, Ash, to train for High Rocks. Yes, I did, but I'm not coming here just to get ready for High Rocks. I'm coming here because you're one of my friends. You push me, and my running's improved. I've obviously put on weight. You can physically see I've put on weight as well, and muscle, and I'm just going to continue doing that. And obviously High Rocks is the end goal, but then there's goals after that. But yeah, the amount of tips you've gave on this podcast, I think a lot of people are going to go to the gym now. And I'm hoping you've inspired a lot of people. I know you will have. And I'm hoping people will comment and say, because of that podcast episode that Ash has done, I've started going to the gym. And if I do get comments like that, I'll pass them on to you.
Of course, mate. Please do.
But thank you, Ash, for taking your time to come on the show. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I really enjoyed it, mate. Thank you.
I'm glad you've enjoyed it, because I know we were both nervous beforehand, and it's just like a little chat. Is there any injuries where it stopped you from doing what you wanted to do?
At the minute, mate, I'm waiting on an operation, which is probably what I sat like I've got a cold, but I actually ain't. The reason behind why I had my asthma attack last year, because I'm severely allergic to a few things. The worst one being for me was dogs, and I'm life-threateningly allergic to dogs. And over the last 20 years, I've actually had dogs in my life for 18 of them 20 years, and I can't train properly myself at the minute, which is obviously is killing me. I can train a little bit, but I can't push myself like I know I can. But I've actually got my operation in 4 weeks on Monday, which is an absolute godsend, and I can't wait for it to be done. Even though I'm going to look like I'm going to have my nose straight, and the polyps what I've got up my nose because of the allergies are going to be removed. I'm going to have black eyes for a week, but after that, I can start my own fitness journey then and get back to be able to show people how to. Basically, I show people how to do everything now, but to do it in a way where I feel comfortable. Because at the minute, struggling a little bit, but I'm still able to do my job, and I'll be fine. Get that out of the way and onwards and upwards. But I certainly won't be doing IROCs like this crazy so and so next to me.
And yeah, you could call me crazy, and I am crazy, and I'm hoping that when I do high rocks, you're going to be there.
Of course I will.
You know, cheering me on every
Definitely.
single station, and I know you're probably going to be nervous, and Ollie's looking like he's got a nervous smile on him, and I know my girlfriend's nervous for me, but you are going to be there.
I'll be there, mate.
I know.
I'll be making sure you finish it, because nobody's walking through this door tells me they're going to do something, and then I'll train them, and then they get to do it, and nobody's failing. You're doing it. I promise you that, mate.
Yeah, there's no such word as fail in my dictionary,
good lad.
mate.
Good lad.
If anyone wants to follow your journey, obviously you're not doing much training at the moment because your operation's coming up. But if you want anyone to follow your journey and you know your business in that, where can they find you?
On Instagram, alternative fitness training. Look me up, give me a follow. Be much appreciated.
Yeah, and we'll definitely put your Instagram handle in the podcast description. So if people do want to follow, they can just click on that and follow you.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that.
So there you have it, guys. If you want to follow Ash's journey and find out how he's changing in his clients' lives, you can search him on Instagram. If you're listening and you feel like you have an inspirational story to tell on how running and fitness has helped change your life, then get in touch with me. Just search DP Running Journals on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. In the next episode, I am joined by one of the owners of a gym clothing brand, talking all about how the brand has developed and the inspiration behind the movement they have created. But until then, remember, every stride tells a story.